Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Preston, aka Mr. Travels, and I got my best friend Ryan in the building.
Hey, what's going on?
And today we got a very, very special guest on the Adventures with Pictures, Valentina, aka Cookie Loves to Travel. How are you
Hi
doing today?
everyone.
Hey. So yeah, how things been going before we get into it?
Well, everything is more or less fine. It's been snowing here, so it's a bit strange for this time of the year. But yeah, just exploring a bit around, working, and more or less that's it, using my time as best as I can.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, like same thing over here, like just working and grinding and trying to travel as much or little as possible, whatever's safe out there. That's what I've been doing. What about you, Ryan?
Likewise, man. In addition to us talking about travel, sometimes I do some photo gigs on the side. So I've been blessed, knock on wood, that I can, continue to get some extra opportunities on the side to continue just to build on my passion for photography. So I like that.
Yeah, so Ryan is the photographer of the group. I'm more of the
Yes.
traveler. I'm trying to get Ryan to come on these trips, you know what I'm saying? Well, let me put it this way. Ryan's more of a domestic traveler, so he loves to
Yeah.
travel
Okay.
in America. But I was like, man, America's so small compared to the world. I was blessed to be able to live abroad in other countries. So I love living overseas. Like I would love to go back. I plan on retiring overseas, but obviously it's up to my wife. She don't really want to go. She wants to be near her family, and I'm like, forget your family. No,
But where were you living? In which countries?
I lived in Germany for 3 years, and I lived in South Korea for 1 year.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was. I had a blast. So yeah, it was. Whew, and I'm so. It's one of those things. I didn't do enough. Like I thought I did. But
Mhm.
looking back, I'm like, man, I really took it for granted. Like I was there for 3 years, and I'm like, oh, I got next weekend. Oh, I got next weekend. Oh, I got next
Yeah,
month. And that's
time
you know, you're
flies.
like, yeah. That's you're like, oh, I got to go back to America. And you start like, and so this is the thing, and then we get into it. But when I was living abroad, I wasn't blogging, I wasn't vlogging, I wasn't anything. I wasn't like I was taking pictures, but I didn't really care about the pictures. I was just like, I'd take a quick shot and be all right, I'm good. I was taking it off my cell phone, and then my wife, she pretty much pushed me and was like, babe, you've been to a lot of places, seen a lot of things, experienced a lot of things. You should really start writing about this or, blogging, vlogging and stuff like that. So that's how I got into it over the last year. And then by doing that, I asked my best friend, I was like, hey, would you like doing a podcast? And we just, talk about traveling and photography things of that nature. So that's how all this came about. Like I said, he has a passion for photography. So he started his own business in photography, Taylor Multimedia, and then I started my own business, Travels in My Lifetime. So all that came about literally within the last year, and it just happened to come in the wrong time of the year, with everything going on right now. But right now everything's I guess starting to get better. People starting to
True.
get vaccinated and things of that nature. So hopefully we all can get back to some type of normalcy going forward.
But maybe it's a good time. You say it's a wrong time, but who knows? Everything happens for a reason, so
Yes.
you don't know.
Yeah,
That's a
you're
good
correct.
point.
You're
Good point.
correct. Okay, so let's get into it. So the first question that I have is, who is Cookie Loves to Travel? Like, who are you?
Well, I would say that that's the hardest question. I have a hard time introducing myself, but let's say I'm just regular girl who likes to go out. I'm really into outdoors, nature, sports, especially extreme sports. I love to write. Writing is my big passion. And in the past 2 years, I started doing a lot of photography and vlogging, blogging more. I have my own website for 2 years. And as well, I started working in digital marketing industry as a freelancer. So basically, I don't know. I just like to do a lot of diverse things, and I love to be occupied, let's say, and I love to inspire people, and I love to talk about my love towards life and like exploring and all the adventures. And yeah, more or less that's it.
Okay, well, you did a great job of explaining that. 'Cause, I mean, that really hit everything that's about you, you know, that anybody, if they didn't know you or didn't follow you right now, they got a good idea of what you bring to the table. And that's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You know, once again, we're glad that you were able to come on the show. And
Thank
that's,
you.
yeah, absolutely. And as Preston mentioned earlier, one of our goals, I guess you could call it a mission statement, if you will. You know, we want to try to make the world smaller in the sense of reaching out to other interesting people, you know, from across the world, not just within the United States. So with that, you know, that we really appreciate it. And you know, once again, being that we want to make the world smaller, and as you mentioned, you love to travel. Like, what are some of the like pros and cons that you come across when you travel?
That's a good one. Pros, I would say that traveling really helps me to grow, to educate myself. I mean, okay, we are educating ourselves from the books and all this, right, media,
Mhm.
but I think traveling is like another level of educating. You know, you come across different cultures, different people, you're testing yourself, your limits, you are getting to know yourself like deeper, and also other people around you, especially your fellow travelers with who are you traveling. Or I think traveling is like the best thing. I don't know if I can say thing, but the best investment.
Okay.
So when you put money into traveling, you're not like losing that money. You're like investing it into yourself, because this will stick with you like until you're here.
Mhm.
And the cons, phew, maybe lack of money sometimes.
I want to say,
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good
I
one.
mean, I love, okay, I also did say sometimes that you don't need that much money for travel. And that's true. I mean, if you compare like some clothing brands and things like that, you know, traveling in a way, it's cheaper.
Mhm.
But it's a lie that you don't need like any money to travel. Maybe you can try to, you know, go backpacking, hitchhiking, or something like that, but you still need a certain money, or otherwise you need to work, and then at least you need some money to earn, you know, to buy and, you know, all that. So
Mhm.
I think that would be a con, the only thing. And the fact, the more you travel, the more you want to travel, the more places you want to see,
Yeah.
you know. And in a way you get addicted. I mean, I don't know if it's that addiction in a
It
way,
is.
but it's same with tattoos, you know, you get one and then you want another one and another one, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's say that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Like I said, I love to meet new people. I love to just interact with people, like just complete strangers, because it's some really nice people in the world. You know, and
Definitely.
sometimes when you look at the news, you know, it can kind of feel like the opposite, like, oh man, it's
Mm,
dangerous out there. Or and don't get me wrong, it is some, you know, bad people, bad parts or whatever. But overall, I think generally speaking, human beings are nice people. And
true.
I done met some of the best people, you know, saying like living abroad or whatever, that I still keep in contact to
Mm,
this day, you know. So that's one of the things like I love about traveling. And like you said, traveling is so addictive. Like I used to have so many different like I guess passions, and like now I have narrowed it down to just traveling. Like pretty much, like I didn't give up everything else. I was like, I told my wife, I said, babe, I'm not spending money on anything else but traveling. Like I'm gonna put all my effort, all my time into traveling. And I travel with my family. I do solo travel. I do traveling with friends. I just want to travel. Like I don't care with who. I mean, well, I do care with
mm.
who, as long as we're on the same page. Because you know, I don't want to have a friend that's like, well, I can only stay in 5-star hotels. Well, I can't do 5-star every single trip. But and like you said, that is one of the pitfalls, that it can be expensive. But like you
True.
said, you can backpack. You can do like for me, traveling doesn't have to always be actually leaving your state, your city, your country. It can literally be local travel, which will be very, you know, inexpensive. Like this past weekend, my wife and I, we decided we're gonna start trying local restaurants and just vlog about it because that's part of traveling as well. Because if somebody like it's not really traveling for us, but let's say you come to my state. And then you might say, oh, well, Preston, he did talk about this one restaurant. Let me travel to it. So, that's how I look at things. And I want to get into backpacking and, hiking and stuff like that. I want to get into that because I see a lot of beautiful pictures of different sunsets and on the beach or there's some type of mountaintop or plateau, whatever. And I'm like, man, that's gorgeous. So I definitely want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about priorities, I think, in the end.
It is. It really is. Because I look at my job every day. I'd be like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, man.
It's sunny outside. You just like, oh man, I gotta go to work tomorrow. Oh, okay. But yeah, it is what it is. Like you said, you gotta work to feed the habit.
Yes.
True.
Yeah. So one of the questions I want to get into, you said you mentioned like you like to do photography. So what type of equipment do you use to capture all your moments?
Yes, I want to know.
Well, now Ryan is gonna be mad, but I'm joking. I'm now using my Samsung Galaxy A71, but I also have a Nikon Coolpix L100. It's like very old model. It's a lot heavy for my neck, but I love it because it makes great landscape, astrophotography, great macro. I love like taking photos of macro. I love this tiny world in a world, It makes me like fascinated. And yeah, I also use tripod because I travel solo. Like usually, I mean, I have my boyfriend and I have a lot of friends that love to travel, but you can't always travel with all those people. So I also live abroad and I'm changing countries. So I always use my time to, pick multi-city, go to another state, and that's when I'm solo, so I have to use the tripod, and I also have this remote control Bluetooth one, so it helps me to just click it and take as many pictures as I want.
Right.
And I also, for vlogging, I use a video grip with microphone that helps me a lot. Also selfie stick. And more or less that's it, like some basic equipment like microphone, and yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I used to have a GoPro.
Uh-huh.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead, because that's what I use. I use a GoPro, but I like a GoPro, but I think the batteries are horrible.
Yes, that's the bad thing. And me and my boyfriend and I gave it to his brother for a present because he's like a biker. So we said just use it. We were annoyed a bit with the battery, but I guess now the newer models have better battery. But I still didn't got any. Maybe in the future, I would love to have drone. I think the drone is.
That's my next big purchase.
Yeah,
I want to get a drone.
It's kind of an investment. Definitely, yeah, the angles and everything, and it can follow you, and it's great for videos. So I think definitely that's a good investment.
That's not bad. Well, I would love to get into macro photography myself. I have a portrait lens, I have a standard lens, and my next two lenses that I want to get, which would be an investment, is going to be a telephoto lens and as you mentioned, like a macro lens that specifically, like you said, all those like Nat Geo shots that you see, like you said, a small world within a bigger world. Those macro shots can just come out so beautiful. So
yeah, a lot of millimeters, and that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, some people say, okay, it is true in a way that if you want to be like good photographer and make a quality photos, you don't have to have like, I don't know, such expensive equipment. But in a certain way, it is true, but still you need like quality equipment. I can see the difference with like my mobile photography and with Nikon. It's a difference, you can see that, so
yeah, I definitely
I think one of the things, because Ryan, he started teaching me how to actually be a photographer. So I'm still working at it, whatever. But one of the things that really stuck with me when he tells me, he was like, you can have $1 million camera, but if you don't know how to take pictures, like I don't care if you got how much editing software you have, if you just take bad pictures,
Definitely.
it's just not going to work out for you. So that's one of the things I try to practice now. When I actually go places, I would take 10, 20 pictures of the same thing, different angles, just so I can, to get a better view of it. So that's like one of the things real important to me. I bought my first camera last year, and I have I don't want to say it's a cheap camera, but it's a cheap camera, a Nikon Delta 3500, and it was like a little kit. It was like a little kit camera, so it came with two different lenses. But I'm in the process of trying to actually buy, I guess, better lenses, whatever, because I think Ryan and I last year we went to Washington D.C. and we sat out there for like 4 hours, and all we did was just take pictures. Like we just walked around for like 4 hours, taking pictures of the same thing and showing me how he sees it, how I see it, and how I can get better and things of that nature. So.
Practice makes perfect. And you have a good teacher, I guess. So
yeah, that's what he do for a living. So I hope he is good.
Well, thank you both. I really appreciate it. It's definitely passion of mine, and also, I just, your Instagram, page definitely shows that you know what you're doing as well when it comes to your photos. So,
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that you mentioned that I was curious about, it seems like that seems to be one of the things that I've noticed is like a big thing, solo travel. And being that you solo travel, like what are some of the vital safety tips that you personally follow when you're traveling?
Well, I would say that I don't go to certain areas that I think or I read that are a bit dangerous. I mean, of course, if you're walking during the night in some areas, there are no lights or anything, who knows what can happen. I mean, even in my homeland, I always have with myself this kind of knife. Sometimes they take me, like Swiss knife thing. But I'm good with my fists.
Okay.
I'm joking.
she got hands.
Yeah, I can throw these hands too.
But first aid kit, things like that, some alcohol. I mean, if something happens, But I wasn't going to like some, let's say like Latin America or some other countries that are more dangerous than certain Europe countries. So I still didn't have any problems. Maybe in Frankfurt in Germany when I was around the railway station, it was during the night and it was quite scary because I was alone and there were a lot of guys and it was kind of scary, but nothing happened, of course.
Good.
But I think if you don't look for trouble, you have like very little chance that you will get into one. But it can always happen, like you said. I also think that in a way we all are like good people, but of course not all of us want good to everyone, and situations can happen and you just don't know. But I guess you have to be a little bit smart in there, and you have to like see if there's a danger or not. And if you see there's something suspicious, you have to just go away. Or you're walking like through La Rambla in Barcelona. There are many pickpockets, right?
Yes.
And also in Prague. So in certain areas, and you're gonna be more careful with your things, and that's it, I guess. I don't have like very good advice for that.
No, you did fine. That was perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect advice. Like you said, like I would say like the one thing that I always try to do is always carry my cell phone. Make sure my cell phone is charged up. And that was one of the reasons why I got a actual camera. Because like I said, normally I was just taking stuff off my cell phone, but that means you're using your cell phone for video, for photography, to call people, to surf the internet, and that battery can drain. So
Power bank as well.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that for me, I always have my cell phone. I mean, even though I'm a guy, I still feel like stuff can happen to guys too, just as easy as a woman.
Definitely.
So I try to be as careful as possible. I don't try to go down, these crazy shortcuts like, oh man, go through that dark alley and cut across that cemetery. No, man, I'm all right. I take the long way, So yeah, like I said, I think just being vigilant and just keeping your awareness about you always will help out.
Yeah, I agree. And just to add to what you guys were saying about safety, I mean, it could be whether you're traveling or just even at your like local area. One of the things I've tried to do is like if you're at a bar or something like that, I don't leave my drink unattended unless it's with someone that I can trust, you know, like my wife or something like that. Other than that, like you said, Press, I thought about it because you said things can happen to men and women, you know, so I try to not leave my drink unattended if I'm somewhere by myself.
True, or call like people like who you don't know at your place. I mean, you can get robbed easily. You don't know who is that person. I mean, it can be a great person, but just hang out outside. Why you have to call him at your place, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good too.
Maybe that's also one thing.
Yeah, yeah, like I said, those are good tips from for all of us. So you're from Croatia, correct?
Croatia, Solin.
So okay, because that's one of the countries that I didn't get a chance to go to, and I'm upset. I have.
There's still time.
Oh, it's still time. I plan on going because it's at least 3 to 4 cities I want to go to, and you know, can you tell us about your home country, like some areas that might be great for people to come visit?
Well, my country is very diverse. So you have like snow areas, sea area, where it's mostly winter, very summer. It's a beautiful coast. I would definitely recommend to everybody to come to Dalmatia and Istria because Croatia has more than 1,200 islands.
Wow.
And yeah, the nature is quite beautiful. I think there are like 12 national parks, many mountains, many great areas. Like the nature is really beautiful, and I'm very proud of my country. Also, the cuisine is very beautiful, like very tasty. People still do homemade food like olive oil and things like that. I mean, the cuisine it's very much influenced by Italian, French cuisine, like Austrian, but still we developed like our own Croatian dishes. So I think there's a lot to see in here. And also a lot of people are just thinking about Zagreb, Dubrovnik, Split, Zadar, you know, but my recommendation, if you're planning to come, plan for like 3-4 weeks because Split is beautiful, Dubrovnik is beautiful, but you have a lot of more beautiful cities, I would say, because all these are a bit more touristic, more expensive. There's like Trogir, Omiš. Those are just little cities near Split that are, in my opinion, even more beautiful. And let's say in Omiš, you have like canyon, sea, river, mountains. You have 8 churches, 2 fortresses, just in one city. And a lot of people don't know about that city, and it's maybe like 20 kilometers from Split. And if you just use a little time to explore further, you will see a lot of these small towns. And I think once you're in Croatia, it's worth to, let's say, rent a car or come with your car and just, you know, go on a road trip and explore all those places.
Okay, so what I hear is I'm gonna hit you up, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna need an itinerary. Yeah, that's all I heard. I was like, oh, okay, got it. You're my expert, and I'm putting you on the spot. This is recorded, so therefore you cannot deny.
Well, I'm here. You know, whenever you want, you can just hit me up, and I can provide you all the information. For me, it's not a problem. I love to help. You know.
Appreciate, because I know my wife. She wants to go to Croatia as well. So I definitely, hopefully, we can both go together and you know, visit, like I said, because that's one of the countries that's really on my hit list. Just in Europe in general, that's just one of the countries that I always heard good thing. And I noticed, I can't remember the name, but one of my good friends, he likes to travel as well, and he said there was some type of festival, some type of music festival. I can't remember what city it was, but he said it was. I mean, I saw videos. It was crazy. Like it was just, it looked like millions of people just, you know, in some type of festival, whatever. But I got to get the information.
There are many, especially during the summer. Maybe it's this Ultra Euro Festival was in Split, or I don't know, Dimensions in Istria or Pag Island. You know, during the summer there are many. So Croatia is it's very famous in the past few years for like electronic festivals, but not also electronic, like rock music, jazz. There are a lot of these festivals. So you have to just see that in advance, you know. Summer, it's maybe a little bit too hot for some people. Like it can get up to 35 Celsius degrees
Okay.
or even more. So that's like July, August. But if you come like June, September, the temperatures are a bit more, let's say, down, and the prices are more down, and yeah, there are still some festivals. So I mean, yeah, I think that's the best time to see actually Croatia. Some people also come totally off season, like winter and let's say in the beginning of the year. But in that time the weather is very changing, so you might get more rainy days, depends. So that's
Okay. Gotcha. So once again, just for those who may not be aware, like when you say 35 Celsius, like that's almost like what, like close to like 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. Jeez.
It can get to that, yeah. It can be really hot, but that's for like Dalmatia. Istria, it's a bit less hot, but it can also get like that. So summers are very hot in here.
Okay.
Not like hot like in Spain. In Spain, last 2 years, it was like plus 45 Celsius degrees in the summer. And it was like, basically you're just sitting and you're getting tired. I never experienced that in my life, and I said I want to go Croatia because Croatian hot is like not hot comparing to Spanish hot. I mean, okay, Spain is close to Africa, so yeah, this is the problem.
Right. Well, I know that you just mentioned all about the great things that we could see if we ever get to visit Croatia. But being that you just love to travel, and it might be hard. This question might be hard, but what's one of your favorite countries that you've been to so far outside of Croatia?
It's a hard one. But I'd say that Greece. Greece was, I don't know, there's just something special about Greece. Although I just been to Crete Island, which is like the biggest island in the whole Greece. And I don't know, it's just that food, it's cheap. That's the first thing. It's like very affordable, not cheap, affordable.
Right.
Even more than Croatia. And the food is amazing. It's all theirs, like from cheese, olive oil, and everything. And people are very friendly, like crazy friendly, although many don't speak English. Maybe that's a bad thing, but everything is so good that you just don't mind, you just say, okay, give me this, I don't care. In the end, you don't know what you're eating, but it tastes good and it's all good. The nature there is beautiful. I really love that wilderness. It has this wild side, and especially Crete Island is not like Mykonos or some other islands that are very like touristic. Crete is not that much. And I would say, yeah, it has also history, like long history. Flora, fauna, it's amazing. I'm all about the nature when I go. I'm not so much into cities, although I love to stroll around the streets. And if it's like old town, I love to explore it. If there's like a fortress, castle, whatever, I just love to see it. But I'm more for that nature side, and Crete I think has all. It has it all, definitely. And Greece in general, a lot of people told me that all the other areas are great. But also I love the Netherlands because I was living there for almost 4 years in Amsterdam, and I really love that country, the people, especially the system. I think to live there economically, it's a great country. It has a lot of possibilities for people to grow, to meet other people, to personally and professionally grow. And I think it's a great country to just stick to for a while.
Okay, that's all right. I appreciate that.
So sticking with the countries and stuff like that, I have maybe like a two-parter. First part is, have you been to America yet?
Unfortunately not.
Okay, yeah, you gotta come here, and then you can hit one of us up. We'll let you know where you need to go.
I also heard, I read that in a few years, Croatians won't need any more visa to go to America.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if that happens, that's
Yeah,
plus.
come on through.
Yeah, for sure.
We're gonna leave the light on for you.
There you go.
So my next, well, I guess second part of the question is, how many countries have you visited?
I used to count, but I think around 13 or 14. I haven't been to many countries though. I've been more to cities, although I haven't counted them that much. But you know, when you live abroad, you're usually trying to see your family at least once a year or twice a year. So I'm always like deciding, should I go to like Peru or should I see my mother? And I'm like, okay, I have to see my mother, you know. And you know, it's not always that, you know, situation is not always so good economically, and you have to, you know, choose sometimes. So I was mostly choosing, you know, Croatia and some countries around Croatia, and that's it. But I hope in the upcoming years I'm gonna travel more. For
Okay.
this year, I have more plans. In a couple of months, maybe even a month or two, I'm planning to go to Serbia, live there for a few months, and this summer to travel like Bulgaria, Romania, Turkey, Greece. So let's say Balkan area.
Oh, the Balkan. Okay, the Balkan. Okay.
Nice.
With that area.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that. And normally, you know, I try to remember to say it, you know, at least at some point throughout the show and not wait to the end. But, you know, like for those who are just, you know, interested in learning more about you, where can they find you? Like if you have more than just, you know, like an Instagram or anywhere else they can find you.
Well, yeah, I have a lot of social media. I'm more active on Instagram than anywhere else. So it's Cookie Loves to Travel, my handle, and as well I'm writing once a week a blog post, sometimes two, on cookielovestotravel.com. And as well, I'm trying to publish every week a new vlog on my YouTube channel. It's also Cookie Loves to Travel.
Okay.
And more or less, yeah, that's it. But if you visit cookielovestotravel.com, there you have all my social media, and you can expect a lot of blog posts about traveling, exploring places. I'm also writing a lot about expat life because myself, I'm an expat. I mean, actually, I live abroad, and I'm also trying to have like diverse topics. So sometimes it's about sustainable traveling. You know, I don't like this mass tourism thing. I like to, you know, speak how we all should be like responsible travelers, and also like some positive inspirational thoughts. A lot of people tell me, oh, you smile a lot of times, you know, you're always happy, and I'm like, no, I'm not always happy, you know. No one is always happy, but I'm just satisfied with life, and that's what I'm trying to present to people. Like, you don't have to have a lot of money, you don't have to travel all the time, you can just be happy with what you have, and you know, use that, and you know, be productive and explore the areas around you, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I like that. I like the part about, I think that gets lost. I think a lot of people focus on what they don't have, and you know, instead of what they do have, and therefore you could drive yourself crazy thinking about that. So I really appreciate that message. Thank you.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
I totally agree with that. And like I've been kind of tossing back and forth as far as leaving my, you know, my regular job and just traveling full time or whatever. So I'm kind of like debating on that. Like, so did you have like a career prior to being an expat, and you just decided one day, hey, I'm just gonna go for it, and this is what makes me happy. I want to travel.
In a way, yeah. I mean, as a kid, I was always like exploring, you know, around. I was sticking to my village, but I was always going to the next village, you know. And I went solo from my house when I was 14 to Zagreb. And then after that, I fell in love with meeting new places, you know, just being there, you know, sticking myself into fire and exploring. Like now, I don't know anyone, I don't know like any place. And Yeah, I think I started traveling more when I was like 19 or something like that.
Okay.
But in a sense, I was unsatisfied with the economical situation in Croatia. And you know, when you live somewhere for like 20 plus years, you just get bored, you know, and you just want something else, and you have a big appetite for a young person, you know. So I was planning that, and I was choosing between Ireland and the Netherlands. And in the end, I chose the Netherlands because I knew a friend who knows a friend who lives there, and he could help me with some information. And I quit my job. In 3 months, I was back at home because I was living in some other cities in Croatia. And then I came back home to my mother. I was being there for 3 months, learning Dutch, and I was saving money. And then I was, you know, Googling for 3 months. And then one day I just said, okay, I'm going. I packed my stuff and I went away, and that was it.
Man, that's hey, my hat's off to you, because you know that's one of the things is I think people that don't want to live that lifestyle don't understand, because it's one of the things like, you know, I make good money, and when I tell people, hey, man, I'm thinking about quitting my job and just traveling, they be like, you know, it's so like the concept is so foreign to them, and they don't understand and look at you like, are you crazy? Like, you know, what are you gonna do with your life and blah blah. I'm like, dude, like I look at it as, well, I'm starting to look at it because I'm getting older. I'm like almost 40 now, and I look at it as you only got one life, right? You can't get your time back. Like I can't go back to yesterday and say, ah, let me get a do over. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No
and
repeats.
so I know what makes me happy. I mean, yeah, my family makes me happy, like my kids and my wife, and I want them to travel as well, you know. Um, but what gives me peace is traveling, experiencing the unknown. So I told my wife, I've been telling her since last year that I really want to quit my job. Like I just don't have that passion of going to work every day and, you know, punching that clock and yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no. Man, I'm so tired of that, and it's just unbearable at times. So for me, I'm really pushing hard this year to build the nerve to actually quit my job and just be a full-time blogger. And obviously, you know, you got to make some type of money. So that's one of the things I'm trying to learn now, actually how to make money blogging. And obviously, you know, YouTube is one of the big markets for that. You know, trying to get that, trying to grow that, get enough subscribers and watch hours, you know, all that stuff like that, so you can actually make money off of your YouTube channel. And so, like I say, for me, I just started my YouTube channel like 3 months ago, and just seeing how hard it is to grow, like your channel, getting people to come there, like it, and subscribe and stuff like that. It is pretty tough to get into, but you know, I feel like when I see other people doing it, I say, why not me? You know, so and I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
to you. I'll be like,
Yeah.
wow, you did it. You know, and
Right.
not even you did it, but you're doing it.
Right.
Mm.
Right. Yeah. I was just going to add, like, yeah, like people like you, Valentina. We have other guests who pretty much travel as a full-time job. One couple, shout out to Isaac and Shippa. They actually sold like their house and everything they have so they could just travel the world. And so we look at, that's another, I guess, interesting thing about this show. We, Preston and I, we look at people like you and some of the other guests we had, and we're like kind of envious, but not in a negative way, but envious and like, man, these people are really doing it. These people are really out here, living their dreams. And I have nothing but respect and salute all you all, salute you all. But me and Preston, we've been best friends for about 20 years. And, we talk pretty often, obviously. And when he first told me that whole thing about, hey, I think about quitting my job and traveling, I mean, I actually understood where he was coming from, because as he mentioned in the beginning, he has more of the passion for travel. I'm more of a passion for photography. I've been blessed enough to where I have a full-time job and a side gig where I get to deal with photos and videos all day, and when I'm not doing photos and videos for my full-time job, I have a side gig where I can do the same thing, take photos or videotape someone's wedding or birthday and stuff like that. So when you told me that, you know, I would assume that I was probably one of the few people who didn't look at Preston like he was crazy. Like, why would you quit your job to follow your passion? Because I feel like I've been blessed enough to follow my passion as far as, you know, full-time gig of photography. So I totally get it.
I totally believe the average person, no matter where you are in the world, are not doing what they want to really do. Like, it's only a certain percentage of people that actually do what they love and get paid for it. You know, I'm assuming like athletes or movie stars. Yeah, you're making millions of dollars doing what you love to do, right? But then it's like other people, you just kind of fall into something that you can do, but you're not like 100% fulfilled, and then you just kind of just drag your life through that for the next 40 years or whatever. And it's just like, wow, you know, I've been working since I was 15 years old, and it's just like, well, like I said, I'm almost 40 now. And I'm like, man, I just want to enjoy my life. You know, I look at other, especially, and it really hit me over the last year or so, you know, with the current situation of the world, that life is not promised to anyone. And it's like, here you are working every day, saving, you know, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, you're not here tomorrow, or something happens, you know, it's like, man, you can't take the money with you. Like you said, and then like one of the things you said earlier, traveling is an investment. You know, you can never take that away. You know, it's like, oh, you went somewhere. Oh yeah, that memories would be forever. You know, I don't look at it as an expensive memory. I just look at it as, hey, it was an investment. Like, I wanted to go to Germany, so I went, and I got to live there. I got to experience the food, the culture, the people, whatever. I can never get that back. You know, and I want to experience it now, not in my 60s where I don't feel like doing too much, you know, because I try to tell let's say I try to tell my brother, you know, he's more the opposite of me. He's like, yo, I'm going to work really hard. So when I retire, I'm able to travel or do something. I'm like, it's not going to be the same experience. You know, doing stuff in your 20s, 30s, 40s is going to be a lot different than in your 60s or 70s or whatever. Because you're going to be irritable. You ain't gonna feel like being around a crowd. You like, you know, turn that down a little bit. So
you can't eat what you want. Probably you can't walk like things like that. You know.
Yeah.
One of the things, like just a quick story, and then we get back to it. But I went to Egypt a couple of years ago with my wife, and we went to the pyramids, and we didn't know this at the time, but. Our tour guide was like, oh, you can go inside, you know, for like $20, $15 or whatever it was. And I was like, oh, cool. So we go inside, and I mean, it got the world's tiniest stairwell. And I'm trying to and I'm a big guy. I'm 6'2", you know, 300 pounds. I'm trying to crawl through this little stairway. I was sitting there like, I'm sweating. I was like, whoo, I got to burn this shirt because this shirt is done. So, and I say that because there's no way in hell I would have did that in my 60s. Like, I'd be like, nope, not going up there. Don't worry about it. You know, it's, you know, and that's why I try to remind people like, yo, man, like some things that you want to experience it earlier than later. So that's what I found through my travels.
Yeah.
But is it like American mentality that people are usually sticking like working until they retire and then they travel? Because when I was working in Amsterdam in restaurant, I had many American people and they were like retired and they were telling me that they started traveling now. And I was like, okay, but you know, I want to travel. I want to retire in like 40, you know?
That's the thing about it with Americans. Since we're a very capitalistic society, you know, we're like, and I didn't know this until I started living abroad or whatever, that when you go overseas or just, you know, to other countries, from an American perspective, the average person don't make a lot of money like per month compared to an American. So when I had German friends, you know, they like, you know, I forgot how the conversation came up, but pretty much they was like, oh, I only make 2,000 euros a month or 2,500 euros a month. And I was like, at the time, I was like, oh my God, I was starved. Like, I wouldn't be able to feed my family with that a month. They're looking at me like, what you talking about? Like, you make more than that? I'm like, yeah, I make a lot more money than that. And, you know, but it's like, but they're living their best lives. You know, they're like having fun. That's all they know. You know, it's just a great culture. And then like, you know, I come back to America and it's like, oh, you know, it's to the rat race. I gotta make all this money. And it's like, you're making all this money, but are you enjoying your life? Like, are you truly enjoying your life?
Yeah,
And that's
it's
what
not all about money.
for me.
Mhm.
So that's what it's coming down for me. Like, okay, am I really enjoying my life? No, because I'd rather be traveling. I'd rather be experiencing something. I'd rather for my kid, like taking my kids to Europe for 3 years.
They'll never forget it.
Like they'll never forget that. And they was younger when I took them, but you know, we still got pictures and we got videos. So I can still say, hey, I took you guys. They had a blast. You know, we going to Italy for weeks at a time, the Netherlands, Ireland, all these places. I mean, this is stuff, especially now, my kids are starting to appreciate a little bit more because obviously they're in school. So they hear about these places. They go, oh, I was there. Like, I got pictures of that. So to me, that's one of the proudest moments as a parent, you know, that I was able to give that experience to my kids. And so now I'm changing my way of thinking from what I was taught. I was taught just to get a job, work real hard, save some money, and you know, die pretty much. Now I'm like, hey, kids, you know, be an entrepreneur. Like, don't always think that you have to go work for somebody else. You know, follow your dream. You know, because the dream is all you have at times. You know, like be smart about it. Like, don't say, well, I'm gonna do something totally left field and be like and expect it to work.
Mm-hmm.
How's that gonna work out for you? Like, I ain't gonna wake up tomorrow and be like, well, I think I want to be an astronaut.
No, that's not gonna work out.
Yeah, definitely. You have to make some effort, time, and everything. And also, I realize you have to have like more plans. So now you just have like plan A. You know, what if that doesn't work? You have to have plan B, C. You know, you have to have some savings. You have to, you know, be smart with all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's one of the things. And I told my wife, I was like, well, let me, like I said, since I created my own travel business, I told her, hey, just give me 1 year. I was like, give me 1 year. Let me try to grow this business and things of that nature. And if it works out, great, I'll stick to it. But if it looks like it's not panning out, I'll come right on back to the day-to-day punching the clock, you know. But I just think everybody should go for, you know, their dream or whatever. So
at least try, you know, you don't have nothing to lose. That's what I think, you know. You at least you will know that you tried. If you didn't try, it will always hurt you, like, ah, man, I should have tried, you know.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree with that.
Right.
Ryan, did you have another question? Because I have one more question, but
I didn't have more questions. I appreciate the that special moment we all just had. I felt like that was real deep, and I would say my final thought on that topic. Yeah, my final thought on that topic. I do think that the younger generation, you know, will be growing up with a different mindset. They're not going to grow up with that. At least in America, Valentina, they're not going to grow up with this mentality of I'm a worker. I'm a worker till I'm 60, and then I'm gonna enjoy life. Like I told you, Preston, my younger nephew. I mean, not younger nephew. My nephew, you know, he tried college like his freshman year, and was like, you know what, I'm gonna pursue acting. And he moved to LA, and he is grinding every day, doing his best. My you know, my brother, who's, you know, he's like 4 years younger than me. He at least gave it a shot with a music career. So I think, you know, like the generation or people coming behind us, you know, me and you know, like you said, we're close to 40. I think people come behind us are really getting out of that work until you're 60, then enjoy life mindset.
It's changing. It's changing a lot. I can see by my grandmother, like she's like 83, you know, and she's like totally thinking differently. And she's very like, how to say, surprised by the world today, and I'm also surprised a bit about the world today, you know, and I'm like 26, you know, so time is rapidly changing. And I think some of the jobs that we still have today in like 10-20 years, it won't even exist. This is what I think, you know, and the world is going more and more digitalized, right?
Yeah, you're right.
And I think it's gonna be different. So in a way, it makes me happy. I'm just hoping that we're gonna stick to the right way, you know, not to, you know, just take the best from it.
Right.
That's true. So one of the last questions is well, I guess I have two questions. One is, do you have any funny or horror stories from your travels?
Horror, I think not.
Okay.
At least I think not. But funny, I do have. Yeah, apart from meeting like funny people, I have a situation in Spain where I accidentally stabbed myself with a banana in the open eye.
Oh
that,
man.
that was quite funny with that like brown part. And then I ended up like 7 days with this thing on my eye. I couldn't like swim or see
Oh.
anything. It was terrible. And I was in Spain. Nobody knew how to speak English because we were in Catalonia,
Okay.
and there people speak either Spanish or Catalan, and we didn't speak much of the Spanish, so it was quite funny. And that same trip, I ate too much of cherry seeds. I ended up in a hospital.
Oh man.
Because I was saying like, this is how we do it in Dalmatia, because this is what we do. Actually, we eat cherries with seeds, we don't spit them or anything like that. But I ate too much, like maybe half kilo. So of course there was a lot.
Oh man. You tossed some cherries back.
Yeah, it was quite crazy. And also in Greece we met one waiter who was really like local guy, and we immediately had this connection with him, and we were eating there for like two days, 2 nights, and one day he just invited us to his house. Hey guys, come, have a drink, talk with me, and then we said, okay, why not,
Okay.
And we had a great talk, like for hours. And he was bringing his, local ouzo, what is this, like homemade rakia, spirit. And we were talking, and then it was the night before we needed to grab airplane and go home.
Okay.
And we were saying bye and everything, and he told us like, hey guys, wait, stay here, I can call a bomb. I can say there's a bomb in your airplane. This is what we do in Greece all the time. And I was like, what?
People do it all the time.
I'm gonna do a bomb threat.
Yeah.
Because the thing about Crete, it's a very wild island and everybody has a gun. I was thinking it's a legend, but no, everybody has at least one gun, and they use it for like weddings, and things like that. For some, they have like license, for some not, and this is like the normal thing for them. I guess in America it's more or less the same, or not?
I mean, I got guns.
Yeah,
but
it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same.
But I don't, it's like America. Like if you're drinking, you can't have a gun on you.
Yeah, I think here is the same, but he was just saying he wanted us to stay, and he said, I'm gonna call the airplane. I will say there's a gun in your there's a bomb in your airplane, so you won't be able to go away. And everyone was like, what?
Oh yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
that weird. Was quite crazy and funny in a way, but Greek people,
That's funny.
You guys must have made a great impression on him. He wants you guys. He was willing to roll the dice and be like, hey, it's a bomb on that plane.
Right, exactly.
I fixed it, guys. You guys can stay now. Like, no. That's crazy. That's the first time I've ever heard anything like that.
Yeah, me too. That's the first.
Me too, trust me, me too. And I'm saying this to everybody because this is like the most funniest moment when I was traveling, because he was really serious. And we were going to the airplane day after, and I was thinking all the time, does he know, which airline, will he really do it? Like, I didn't believe, until I was, flying away, and I was like, okay, he didn't do it.
We're good. We're good, guys.
Right.
Yeah, we're good, yeah.
That's safe. That is funny. I like that. Appreciate you sharing that. And the last question is, so what do you have planned for your followers and your new followers, for this year? Like, what can they expect?
Well, I am planning to write more, like I'm still writing about expat life, and as well more about life in Serbia, because some people still say that Serbia is like the third world country. I mean, it's not EU, but I think it's still a great country, and it's a lot different than Croatia, although it's very similar, but in a way still a lot different. So I'm gonna write a lot of stories from there, and me and my boyfriend and I are planning to travel some other countries, as I already said, in the Balkans, like Turkey, Bulgaria, Romania, Montenegro, and so on. So I will be writing and sharing my vlogs from these areas. I also started Pickup Challenge, which is like one great challenge that you can just record yourself while you're picking the trash from any area.
Yeah,
My
I saw
goal is
that.
to make this a viral thing, and that we are helping the earth to clean a bit,
Mhm.
And yeah, more or less that's it. My adventure stories, expat experiences, some positive thoughts about life, and that's it, more or less.
Okay,
Right.
that's cool. So at this time, we always close out our shows with 10 rapid fire questions. Okay. So whatever your first thought is, you just go with that. It's either A or B. Okay.
Cool.
All right. So the first question is luxury or budget?
Budget.
Train or plane?
Train.
Hostel or hotel?
Hotel.
City life or beach?
Beach.
Desert or tropical?
Tropical.
Cold destination or hot destination?
Hot destination.
Off the beaten path or organized excursion?
Off the beaten path.
Okay. Photo or video? Ah, got
Hard
him.
one.
Yeah.
There's always that one question. There's always
Oh,
one
that
question.
like, ah.
Yeah. Okay, video.
Okay.
Video. Okay. Okay. Solo or group?
Solo.
And the last one, fast food or dining in?
Dining in.
Dining in. Okay. Well, you did very well. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Appreciate as well.
Okay, so before we sign out, like I said, we want to make sure that everybody knows how to get in touch with you and follow you. If you can just spit all your social media stuff out.
Cookie Loves to Travel, that's the handle for Instagram, cookielovestotravel.com, that's website, and Cookie Loves to Travel on YouTube. This is where I'm most active, and you can find me there if you want. Just hit me up with a message. We can connect, do something together, and if you have any questions, just feel free to contact.
Nice.
Appreciate that. And like I said, I want to say thank you for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me. This was very nice, and thank you again. This is I'm flattered in a way, really, that you find me interesting,
Yeah, I mean, your page is awesome. Like I said, reaching out to complete strangers is something that I just wanted to start doing and say, hey, I like what you're doing. Let's talk. So this is one of the things of just getting out of my comfort zone. And Ryan, just reaching out to people and say, hey, you want to come on and, talk, sometimes doing this journey of finding people to come on our show has been difficult at times because a lot of people say, oh, I'm nervous or I'm shy. But as you can see, it's really just a conversation. It wasn't like, some crazy shock value, like, do you like men or women?
I know it.
I don't dive into personal life, like exactly where do you live? Like, no, like
Definitely.
Yeah, so like I said, we just wanted to, like I said, have fun, talk about some things, as you can see. And like I said, you're always welcome to come back on the show if you have anything that you want to put out. Like you said, like your Pick It Up challenge, if you want to come back on and explain that more, you can do that. Like you said, it don't have to be anything real long and drawn out and crazy. You can come on for 20 minutes, 30 minutes and say, hey, man, this is what's going on. I want to, put out some information, and you can use our platform because this is what it's here for.
Yep.
Thank you. That's very kind. And this is a great way, to meet new friends as well, not just to, create something together. And, I think it's very good that you did this, because it's maybe a hard time, but the thing is we have to get the best from it, and we have to stay productive and just, create something good. And this is very, very cool what you're doing. And who knows, it's a small world as much as it's big. So maybe we run up to each other somewhere,
Oh, yeah. I'm coming to Croatia. We're coming somewhere. Yeah,
There you go.
don't even worry about it. You don't even know it. You don't even see it, but it's happening.
All right.
Although
all right.
I'm not living here, actually I am now, but in the future. But you can always hit me up, maybe I'm here, you never know.
All
Yeah.
right, I appreciate that. And I just want to remind our viewers to make sure that you like, subscribe, leave a comment, and always recommend. And that's one thing that we always try to tell people, hey, recommend to another friend. And like I said, we can build this. I'm definitely going to follow your YouTube channel and everything that you
Me
have
too.
on.
Thank you as well.
I definitely understand. We definitely understand the grind of growing your brand and your business and things of that nature. Like just getting people to watch your stuff or to comment or subscribe is a task. So definitely, I feel like we're in this together. So like I said, like when this episode come out, we definitely gonna let you know, and let all your wonderful viewers and followers know as well.
Thank you. I can share it as well on my media. So just let me know when it's on, and that's it.
All right, I appreciate it. Okay, Ryan, any final words?
Well, as Preston already, just echoing Preston, you've been a great guest. I'm wishing you the best wherever your next destination is. And hey, don't be a stranger. Like you said, we're not saying that in vain. If there's something that you feel like you want to promote and you feel like maybe a podcast or another YouTube platform is worth it, let us know. And I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ryan and Preston. Thank you. That was so kind. It was nice meeting you, and see you.
All right.
Peace.
All right, bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.